Welcome back to the channel. This week, I have spent my entire time with this 2025 Chevrolet Blazer EV SS. This is what you get when you combine practicality and performance, and I have loved living with this thing. The only thing is that there are a few things that GM got absolutely right, and I think there's a couple of missed opportunities when it comes to the SS version of the Blazer EV. But as usual, I'm going to show you absolutely everything you need to know in case you're in the market for one of these blazing fast performance EVs. Let's get into it. So a perfect place to start is the rear for the Blazer EV SS. Open it up and it is just red on red on red. You've got red on the door trim here, as well as a nice mix of black material here. Very, very good looking. You don't have any SS badging on the seat back here, but these seats are very, very nice. And you also have the ISOFIX tie down point right over here. Let's actually hop in. It is freezing out and I want to show you what you got going on in here. So first of all, you do have two vents as well as two sets of heated seats back here, which is very nice. Two USB-C ports, and check this out. I think I could put this front seat all the way back and still have enough room for a rear facing car seat. So this Blazer EV is, not only wickedly fast, but it's got a ton of rear space here. Look, I'm a 5'11" guy. This is my driver profile, and I have got knee room and foot room and leg room for absolute days. It is just super roomy back here. Lots of headroom as well. No problems there. Nice visual here with that big sunroof. Really no complaints. We do have a cup holder that's going to fold down right there. So yeah, honestly, nothing to complain about here. I really, really like this configuration back here. Tons of space for things, for people, you name it, you got it. But let's check out up front. So next up naturally is the front seat for the Chevrolet Blazer EV SS. Red everywhere. Check that out too, right on the headrest, the SS badge. It's going to make annoying GM sounds until I get in, so let's do that. So once you're inside, usually, mine was already on, but usually all you got to do is press the brake down and it starts up for you. And now when I get out of the vehicle, it will shut everything down for me as well. I really do like that system. So starting off with the door controls, you do have two sets of memory seat settings as well as standard window controls here. Parking brake right here, as well as your lane keep assist, brake hold, and your illumination controls. I really like the design of this vent, and also you got more red on the dash. If you're a fan of red, oh boy, this Blazer EV SS is for you. Steering wheel is pretty nice. Got that SS badge right there. I like the leather here with the red stitching all around. Looks really good. Physical buttons absolutely everywhere and for everything. Very, very nice to see. This is, of course, is Super Cruise enabled, so that is also another convenient thing about this Blazer EV. Gauge cluster is relatively simple, shows you your range, but you do have a couple of different themes. This has Android Automotive built in, so you're going to be able to, kind of customize things the way you want, but unfortunately there is no Apple CarPlay. So you can see I have a couple of different themes here. Very, very easy to understand and read, but here you go. Big infotainment display screen where you can see I've got Waze, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, Spotify. It's got built-in Google Maps. It's completely connected. You got the Play Store. You can download more stuff, but what you can't do is make Apple CarPlay or Android Auto work. But I'm a Spotify user, I'm a Google Maps user. Normally, I happen to just own an iPhone, so I don't really get affected by not having CarPlay, although I do think 25, 26, 27, we should still have an option to have some type of CarPlay. Now, pretty much everything in this vehicle is controlled via this infotainment display. You do have a couple of physical buttons here for some of the HVAC stuff, and you do have a physical button for the heated steering wheel, but that is as good as it gets. So you do have, like a climate control here. There's quick access along the bottom, but if you want a more detailed view, it's going to be right there. You have your drive modes as well. You have your normal, sport, snow and ice, my mode, and a Z mode. And so Z mode, it gives a good description right here. Personalize the Z mode to have your favorite performance settings available at the push of a button. And you also have this guy right here, the wide open watts mode, which unleashes the full 615 horsepower of this thing. And so yeah, you can kind of press that in any mode. Usually I pair it with like a sport mode or the Z mode, and I let it rip, but that's controlled through here as well. We do have a really good 360-degree camera system, no complaints there. Very easy, one pedal drive as well. You have some quick access controls like the heads-up display, different things like that, and you can also see more controls there. So it is pretty easy to navigate. It's very fast, very responsive. I like this system a lot. Just wish there was more CarPlay stuff. Maybe a bit more physical buttons would be good. I do though like these vents, very Camaro-esque. Reminds me of a machine I've been missing for a while now. A little bit of storage in there, storage over here as well, 2 cup holders, wireless charging pad right here, storage underneath this red arm center console, very nice and comfortable, no issues. Passenger gets a good view as well with those nice vents, pretty good leg room as well. Digital rear view mirror, no problems there. I love that premium feature. And yeah, overall, I like the design of this Blazer EV SS. There is really not a big problem other than the lack of Apple CarPlay, but I like the design of it. I like the red in here. I wish these seats held you a little bit better when you were driving. That's one of my biggest complaints, is that it's still like, it's not a bucket seat. I think there's a missed opportunity here to make this seat a bucket seat and, make it like feel like a special SS, like, yes, we do have it on the headrest, but I feel like they could have taken it one step further and made this like a, a sink-in seat, maybe make it a little bit less comfortable. Something like that would have been maybe cool to see. But alas, these seats are still comfortable. They just don't hold you as well when you're ripping around. That's the only downside. So taking a look under the floor for the Blazer EV SS, it's equipped with a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is capable of 486 kilometers on a full charge. Although during my week, I saw right around into the 500s, and we did have some negative weather, which is really good news. In its most powerful mode, the wide open watts mode, it's capable of 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. So this thing is still no joke off the line. It'll smoke anybody, or most people anyways, and it can definitely hang with the big dogs in the EV market when it comes to performance. You also get 22-inch wheels. You do have really nice Brembo brakes, and it has a sport tuned suspension. So, it does kind of live up to the SS badge in that regard. Definitely has the performance and the handling to really hang in there. I like it. All right, so next, let's take a look at the exterior for our Chevy Blazer EV SS. Let's start with the front. So really nice daytime running LEDs right here that connect the bow tie. It's all illuminated. It looks really good. There's a little bit of a rework in the front here, I noticed. Looks a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more sporty. I do like that. I kind of like the lip they got going on here. SS badge right there. Front-facing camera, parking sensors, you name it, it is right here. I do like the front end. I mean, honestly, any version of the Blazer you get is a really nice front end. Maybe the SS has the nicest looking one. I love this color as well. The red is the way to go, I think, with the SS, but still, overall front end, no matter what trim you get, very, very attractive. Also, side profile here, big rims, big tires, and big brakes. You can see we have the SS badge right on in there. Looks really, really good. Of course, you need big brakes if you're going to have a big speed. So, yeah, I like this setup. I think it makes the vehicle. I love how big the tires and rims are. Looks really good. Side profile looks really good. I like that black rooftop with the red paint and the black again on the bottom. Looks very sporty and gives it a really good shape. I also like this little air channel right here on the back near the wheel. Looks pretty good as well. Last but not least, we do have our charge port. You're going to press there. It's going to fold down. So far, it's winter. Currently, sort of, and it's working perfectly, so no huge complaints there. Onto the rear, you can see first thing is it's a clear tail light. Usually you have, I think it's a darkened one or one that's just red on the usual Blazer, but this one has the nice little accented clear one. Very nice. All-wheel drive badge, SS badge right there, as well as a little diffuser right here. I do like me a diffuser, so I like the sporty bit there as well. Not much of a rear wing, pretty much nothing in terms of a rear wing for the SS, but we do have a camera for our rear view mirror, so that's really good. Trunk space is, like you'll see in a second here, let's open it, automatic tailgate, but trunk space is abundant. I mean, I got my coat in here, my stuff is all in here, I can fold the seats down. I will have a ton of space back here with no problem. We do have a little bit of storage under the floor. If I can get it with one hand, I'll show you. Here you go, a little bit of storage underneath there, nothing crazy. And we do have these all-weather mats in here as well. But you can see, fold the seats down, even without that, you'll have so much space. So that's gonna do it for my tour of the exterior of the Blazer EV SS, but let's get this thing on the road finally. Let's take it for a spin. All right, so on the road now, Chevy Blazer EV SS, and this thing is absolutely no joke when it comes to straight line speed and performance. I think that in the actual performance, the way it feels and stuff like that, I really do think that for the most part, Chevrolet has kind of nailed it, lives up to its badge. SS Super Sport, I think the amount of speed that this thing can muster up is pretty ridiculous. Once I get it on the bottom of this hill, I will show you what I mean. I do have some traffic behind me as I have to film these reviews on public roads, but let's put on our wow wide open watts and let's give it a little bit of a kick here. Oh my god. Oh my god, everything flew. Everything flew. Oh my god. It's very rare that EVs give me that like instant torque, like, you know, you just stomach in my butt kind of feeling where it's just like, oh my god, I gotta death grip the steering wheel and hold on for dear life. But my god, 615 horsepower, this thing will do it to you. So straight line speed, performance is absolutely no issue, and this thing will dust any old, you know, souped up car, really most EVs and a lot of Teslas as well. I've actually been challenged by quite a few Teslas of whatever variant, and you know, this thing has smoked them all, because I don't think people really realize what the SS means. I think they're expecting, you know, like the RS that has, I think, just under 300 horsepower. This thing has double that at 615. So it really is a serious machine when it comes to speed, and handling isn't too bad either in sport mode. That's usually the mode I like to drive in. Stiffens up the steering, nice throttle and brake response as well. You got a really good turn in. It is wet today, so obviously not the best grip in the world, but still not bad. I do have some winter tires on, so maybe I'm getting affected more than I would, but still, I really think that handling-wise, like if you take this on a good mountain road, you'll still have some fun with it, just because of its ability to just instantly accelerate to crazy, ridiculous speeds is going to still add a lot of fun to that journey. The only thing where I feel like they missed is, you know, they didn't copy Hyundai. You know, they didn't like add an aggressive shift, or like, you know, it's just something to give it a little bit more personality other than just the speed. There is a noise to it. It's not a very loud one. It's kind of a drone. You know, it's not my favorite thing in the world to listen to, but it still is there. So, I mean, I can't really hate on it too much. But yeah, I wish there was some type of simulated shift, or just, you know, a noise of simulated shifting would have been cool. You know, something like that, just to kind of really bring it over the top and really make it feel like that much more engaging, other than the fact that it's just absolutely ridiculously fast. Like I said, corner handling like this one, really not bad. A little bit of body roll there, but yeah, the weight transfer and the weight distribution on this thing is really good, and it's really fun to hang it out in a corner and still kind of be on the throttle. And also I have one pedal driving engaged, so like I can kind of adjust what's going on kind of mid-corner just by lifting my foot up, which is really cool. And it'll come to a full stop. I do have like a little button that will give me max regeneration as long as I'm holding it, which is also pretty cool. So, you know, the EV-ness is very much there. It could, you know, drive it pretty much all the time without ever needing to touch the brakes. So that's going to be, you know, kind of nice, and just takes your mind off the brake a little bit. You also do have cruise control, so obviously on mapped out highways, this thing will basically drive itself. So really going to be good for your road trips, and you're having fun. It is what you get when you mix practicality with stupid speed, and it is kind of fun to drive around like this. Visibility is really good. I love the windshield. Rear view mirrors are good. Digital rear view camera, which right now is kind of getting wet a little bit because it is sort of raining, so there's kind of like reflections there. But honestly, I don't mind it too much. I think if I washed the rear window, it would probably help. Note, because this one I think is on the outside, so that's kind of what you get. But it's fine. I can still sort of see what's behind me. If it bothers me, I can always turn that off. No worries. And I think another thing the Blazer EV SS really has going for it is simply the fact that, you know, it's pretty affordable in terms of other vehicles in this performance category. So you think the Ioniq 5N, this is cheaper than that. You think the Acura ZDX, this is cheaper than that. You think the Dodge Charger EV, I think it's got more horsepower, but still, this is cheaper than that. And I think it's actually pretty competitive to what the Model Y pricing is, I think at least in the US. In Canada, I think it's still cheaper and probably a lot better of an option here for us Canadians to go with the Blazer EV SS. I think it beats all those. It's more practical than most of them. And, you know, I think it's my favorite in terms of affordable ones. You know, if we're going to look at other, like, performance EVs, I think the Ioniq 5N still takes it for me, just because it has all the sporty bits that you could ever want, and it just so happens to be an EV. It's kind of just taking that next step. And I expect to see Chevrolet and like all the other people interested in making performance EVs to kind of follow suit in that. I think it's a great formula. But Chevy's on the right track. There is no doubt about that, because this thing is practical, is easy to use, is fun to drive even without the 615 horsepower. But having the ridiculous amount of speed makes it just that much more fun. So that's pretty much it for the driving. Pretty much covers everything I wanted to show you. But let's head on over to the outro. All right, so there you have it. A slight winter review and slight performance review of the Chevy Blazer SS. What happens when you mix practicality with crazy electric speed? Well, you get something that's not only engaging to drive, but also looks the part too, and it's practical. I fit my daughter's stuff in there. I have a ton of room in the back seat, Costco runs, grocery runs, you name it. The Blazer EV-SS can handle it all, and it will smoke absolutely everyone off the line with its ridiculous power. And Chevy have found a way to do this without actually sacrificing any range at all, which I think is quite special. So, it is also affordable. It's more affordable, at least here in Canada, than a Model Y in some cases, and it's more affordable than the Acura ZDX and other performance EVs like it. So I think you are getting a good deal mixed with, just the sheer benefits that come with it. Yes, I wish there was more sportiness on the interior. I wish it was a little bit more engaging with, the way that it drove and performed. But still, when you look at it at a baseline, it really does live up to its badge, and I'm a fan. I like the Blazer platform overall, and I think the SS takes it to an appropriate level of sportiness that I think maybe some of us were looking for. But of course, I want to know what you think. What do you think about the spec, the color, the way it looks, and everything in between? And of course, if I've missed anything, or if you have any questions, please do let me know in the comments. I love to have a conversation with you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one. See you next week. See you next car. Take care.